What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading in the morning. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading in Morning. Great morning to you all. Happy Wednesday. Really looking forward to this session with y'all today. Ready to get into it. We got a nice one planned. Yesterday's live stream, by the way, in the morning was awesome. Yesterday's afternoon update was awesome. And I'm going to make this one as well. I hope, because you guys all bring it. By the way, I hope Kips has already joined the stream. We're going to be taking a look at his nickel. We're also going to be taking a look at an article regarding how the U.S. is getting into the miners. So when he gets in here, we'll take a look at all that stuff. I want him to be a part of that for sure. Yesterday's session, I think the lesson was in the afternoon was, do not chase momentum, right? Do not get emotional. Do not get emotional and FOMO yesterday to the downside. Step back as we did in that video and look at the levels. Yesterday's video was a prime example of how to view it and act with detachment. Yes, he's here. All right. We're going to be looking, Kips, for sure. Have that article. I never found that podcast, but I wanted to talk about this article with you. Wanted to start going over your nickel charts. We'll do that all today. We're going to start this off before we get into the charts here. And by the way, if you're just joining us, we're going to take a look at the S&P first. We'll be looking at the Nasdaq, the Russell, the Dow before we get into the dollar. Very important levels to look at, by the way, today on the DXY, right? We're going to be moving this level of support over here at 93.55. I'm going to be moving it down. I'm going to show you why. And we're going to be looking across the board at everything. Yeah, trading is really a psychological game. I love really studying human behavior, how people react to things, because that's what trading's all about. The matcha, I did an extra heaping today of my blue bottle. I made it ground a little bit more today. I'll just be getting into the matcha in a little bit. But yeah, I was up early and ready to go here. We're going to take a look at the calendar first. By the way, we do have today we have the FOMC meeting minutes. Will that be a market mover? I doubt it, but nevertheless, it's on the calendar. We'll have to watch out for it. Never know. What else? We got Fed speakers, a ton of them today, and that's exactly what they're going to be saying. Stimulus, please. By the way, throw some likes over there. So, by the way, this is kind of important over here, right? Mighty Fed speak to begin today. And what are they going to be talking about, right? QE, by the way, is a pure funnel into the stock market. That's why Powell keeps begging. What happens, right? I've said that over and over and over again this year. QE, stocks go up. QE, stocks go up. It's called asset inflation. That's why Powell keeps begging for more stimulus spending. Here, this is what all the Fed communications of late have been focused on, and that is the amount of unemployment benefits. That's the amount of jobs being lost. They're really focused in on that. I want to fast forward over to here because you've heard me say over and over again this year. By the way, let me throw out a like for sure, because any of this good content being shared, I want to go ahead and like it. UBI is here to stay, right? I've said at the beginning of the crisis, the result of the crisis will be permanent universal basic income. We're just seeing like little tastes of it. But all those jobs, there's a lot of jobs never coming back. What I'm talking about here this morning is signal. That's going to be very important for when when we get into some of the prices over here. UBI is here to stay. Trump last night was talking about, just a standalone bill for the stimulus checks. This is UBI, right? Direct money directly to the people. Now, when we talk about signal over here, this is just a headline. I read headlines more than I read articles, right? The World Trade Organization warns that in 2021 could see a slowing sharply after better than expected rebound so far. And that takes us over here, by the way. Let me go to where it's important, right? Now, the World Bank also said that a full global recovery could take upwards of 5 years. What does that mean? That means more job layoffs, more permanent jobs lost, more UBI. What does that mean? You remember this one we looked at? This was set up by the Congressional Budget Office about 2 weeks ago. I think we first looked at it when they first released it. And look what their budget projections are going forward, right? What is this? This is signal, right? And you all know, right? They tend to underestimate these things, right? Since when has government ever set a budget that they stick to? All right, so what does that all mean today? By the way, let's give a like here as well. Let me throw in my Twitter profile if anyone wants to go ahead and give a like, see what I'm following, what I'm liking, what I'm retweeting. And then we give Preston over here a like. Boom. All right, here we go. Let's get into the charts right now. Thank you there, Sprout. Thank you for that very, very much. Either which way, I'm glad to be here sharing with all of you. So that's what matters to me. All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Let me remove that from the broadcast just to keep this clean. We're all good. I'm going to get going now. All right. Maybe I should take a sip of matcha here and really get going. All right. Is there a couple? We're going to, let me start. Nah, I got to keep to my, little bit of formula. That way, if someone's joining us late, they know what they could do in order to get to what they want to look at. So we'll get to the DXY in just a little bit. It's an important look today. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's check it out over there. Raul, buenos dias. Let's check out what's going on over here on the S&P 500. So first of all, from a TA standpoint alone, again, everyone here, everyone who's following us, has a very clear indication of what's going on, and it remains the same. We have the descending wedge, bullish breakout, right? Since then, what is happening? We're staying in this channel over here, right? You can see this right over here. So now, everyone, let's get ready. If we lose the 33.39 support, and I hope you saw yesterday's afternoon update, because over here, as the FOMO index was through the roof, I took a look around our charts and I said, you know what? We haven't broken anything technically that would think that we've lost our bullish momentum, right? That's what I said. Here we go. If we lose this area going forward, right? See this channel, right? In my opinion, that sets us back to 32.76. Not only is that I said from the beginning would still be bullish. This descending wedge breakout would still be in effect. And if that level held, we could resume off. Watch out for the downside. Always watch out for the side you trade in. But nevertheless, right, we held that important support. We held not only that support, we held this trend line that we're in. We held that area of convergence. Everyone should have been stopped out over here at break even because we traded above the first resistance. Stop loss at break even, right? So what do you do now? Are you re-entering off of that next signal over here, right? That's your first indication if you want to get back into the trade. You have to be okay. You have to be more than okay with being stopped out at break even. It's a free trade. You are never going to make money taking profit at a one-to-one risk reward. You will never make profit, right? People say, oh, you gotta take profit. There's nothing wrong with taking profit. No, there's a lot wrong with taking profit too soon. It's the same thing as cutting your loser short. Taking profit at a one-to-one is cutting your winner short. You will never make money that way. You got to fix that. All right. So what's going on over here? People took an entry there. Great trade. Everything remains the same. We are still, as you get into that resistance over here, though, you got to be extra cautious. You got to look to protect that trade and lock that in really quick. What's going on with the Nasdaq? Let's take a look over here. Same thing. All right. Nasdaq's a little bit different. Why? Because our stop loss was down under here, right? So there was never stop loss was never moved to break even. People should still be holding. If you weren't, all right, do you add here? I wouldn't. Why? Because it's too close right into the resistance, right? I would not be taking an entry over there. Again, this is looking at the Nasdaq right now, but it's TA. It translates into anything you're trading and or looking at, right? So what happens? We're into some resistance right now on the Nasdaq. We need to, for this to turn bullish, a couple of things to happen, right? You could see over here these two lower highs. So at this point, we want to make a higher swing high. But more importantly, in front of us right now, you want to get above that little bit of resistance right over here. At that point, getting above that little bit of resistance, getting above this prime trend line over here, that opens up a clean place to take an entry to the long side if it translates like that. What about on the downside? Nothing has changed on the downside. You're still looking and watching for over here, right? Watch over there. This is I'm sorry, it's not even over there. It's over here into that support over there at 11,066. Trade below there, you just get neutral. You're not looking to short this at all. You're getting neutral, right? And we said if that happens, we'll look at what point we look to get short and off of what levels, but that's getting way too far ahead of ourselves, and it'll be different as that happens. So that's unfolding. What else is going on? Let's look at the Dow. The Dow is simple. The Dow is maintaining this channel, right? Everyone could see it. We looked at it in yesterday's afternoon update. Nothing else to add. If we break out of this channel, if we lose this support over here, that could see a bigger retracement, I think, all the way down towards this 26,480 support. Do I get rid of this little bit of support over here? We'll keep it in. I'm going to make it lighter. I don't think this will hold. I'm going to make that a little bit lighter. But there's not much else to add there to the conversation. Everyone should be completely Thank you, Brandon. Everyone should be completely have a perfect awareness of what's going on over here on the Dow as well, right? What's going on in the Russell, right? All right, so we talked about in the afternoon update as that we were sitting on that little bit of local support. That's what held, no big deal. So, by the way, the trajectory of this is pretty strong, right? So what that means is I'm going to do this over here because, that could only last for so long. I'm going to put in over here what I call a parabolic trend line. All right, I'm going to put it like this. That's going to be a warning. Trade below that, and then we're looking for a steeper correction. All right, so let's just keep that in there. But by the way, right, we're coming in towards this resistance over here. I'm going to step back to the daily to look at this. You could see that pretty strong resistance over there. We pierced above it yesterday, closed below it. It still stands. The healthiest thing for the Russell here will be to clear that resistance and then go ahead and actually trade a little bit sideways, building up a consolidation, getting ready then to attack the high over here. So we'll keep watching it over there. Watch how sharp that is going right now, though. Let's go and look also now and get into the DXY, which is really what's important. I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I do not think by any means that the Russell offers is any indication of the overall market whatsoever. But listen, that's the markets. People get to they have the opportunity to go ahead and place bets accordingly to what they believe. So, and also be aware though, as we're looking at all of this, right? So as we're looking at things like Amazon, the big boys, Walmart gaining more and more market share, right? The economy, or a reflection of the economy, becomes less and less about the Russell and more about the big tech over here. My opinion. All right, let's go over DXY. Listen, I'm making a change here, and I just want you all to be aware. First of all, everyone knows that I was looking at over here at the big resistance at 94, and that trend line over here. We need to break above that in order to say, okay, dollar strength has returned. You could see that resistance area is holding so far. And we've come down and we're testing that support over here at 93.55. But I'm moving that lower now. Okay, I'm moving that lower and I'm moving it down over here to where the low was yesterday. I'm moving it, you can see over here, that's an important level as well, right? Why am I doing that? Well, I'm doing that, first of all, since it broke to the upside now, right? As we trade above it, I think on the way down, the support is not going to be the top of that little bit of resistance. The support now has moved down over here, okay? In order for us to be resuming, for right now we're in no man's land, complete no man's land. Should we be in no man's land? I think so. How much uncertainty is in the market? A ton. By the way, there's also a huge press conference this morning at 11 o'clock a.m. by the Justice Department. That could rock the markets. Be careful. No one knows what they're going to be releasing, but it has the potential to be an October surprise. Watch for some volatility around that time today. The market's over here to give us the next clue of what's happening. Needs to break either down below 93.38, 93.40, that area over there, or above 94, right? That's that's clarity. That's what we're looking for. What's going on with gold? Let's take a look at gold this morning. Gold broke down below 1880 yesterday, closed below it, right? And then since what happened is simply spiked up. You could see right into the resistance perfectly and is back down into what? No man's land, right? So I want to go ahead and clean up my chart. I need a clear indication of what's going on. By the way, right? I am now focused on before I want to go long again on gold. I took the aggressive entry last time, rightfully so in my opinion. I'll do it again 100 times. It's a break above this trend line now that I'm going to be waiting for here for the high probability trade before I get back involved on gold on the long side, right? As well as if we break down lower, I will be looking to pick up off of either the 1800 support or even below her at 1750 if either of those levels are tested and hold. All right, so right now I am in complete no man's land, right? I am waiting. I am waiting here for the market to show its hand. And it's not just here. It's not just here, right, on gold. DXY is in no man's land. The only thing that are offering clarity, in my opinion, are the equity markets. But we'll keep going. What's going on here with silver? Silver, again, this is, I mean, look, you can't call it bearish, but a big move is coming, and it could be to the downside or upside, right? If you break this trend line over here, right, silver at that point most likely will then take out this last swing low over here. I have it around, what is that, 22.20, right? And then we could be testing all the way down towards 1890, right? Towards or 1930 in this area over here. So bullish, though, the fact that that trend line over here held again overnight. Since it is held, we came back up, regained a 2330 level, and you could see so far just retesting that level. No man's land, though. All right, no man's land to a big degree. Still, 2450 is offering the resistance over there. It's not the trend line here to the upside. You could see that we had a touch here and a touch here. So, by the way, some people are always looking for trades. You could improve your performance drastically by not trading when it's not time to trade. Bears were pretty loud yesterday. Maybe they'll roar again this afternoon. I think it's going to be a volatile day ahead of us. Let's see what happens. All right, what else is going on? Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty right to me. Maybe you know, that seems pretty right to me. I don't know. We'll see. What else is going on over here? Let's check out what's going on with Bitcoin. I want to share, before we get into Bitcoin, I want to share Raul's tweet over here this morning. And he was talking about over here, this is looking at historical volatility. I tried pulling it up on TradingView. The calculation is off. He's looking at a Bloomberg terminal over here. And basically what he said, let me read the tweet over here. Let me go ahead and retweet this. He said over here that Bitcoin's 30-day historic volatility has been falling. You can see it's down towards 20 right now. In the past, it's hit 20% 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times price exploded higher and immediately volume hit 80% in a few months. One time, this is going back over here. If you remember the breakdown right over, where was it? When we lost the 6,000 level. Let me pull up a 3-day chart. I'll be able to find it a lot quicker for you. What's going on over there? Over here. Do you remember over here when we were flirting with this level over here, 6,000 for so long? Volatility over here crashed down towards 20%, and then we broke down to the downside. That was the only time when volatility got this low, we broke to the downside. If you look right now, what's happening with the volatility right now, we're in a super uber bullish formation over here. This was not bullish. This was not bullish. This is bullish. It looks like we have a big move coming on Bitcoin. Interesting to share. Either way, he's saying, covering his bases, a big move is coming soon, and that's appropriately so. Appropriately so. All right, so where does that leave us? Let's look at Bitcoin right now. No, I mean, listen, Mr. B, RTA kept us completely on the right side of these trades, right? Just watch yesterday's afternoon update. So, by the way, and of course, there's no way I knew for sure. I didn't know if that was an overreaction or not. There's no way of knowing until you get the next couple of trading sessions out of the way. 100% I did not know. I thought it was an overreaction. Why? Because the market was not expecting stimulus before the election anyway. There was an outside slight chance it would happen, but the market was not expecting the stimulus. So it seemed like a really big overreaction to me. We'll see. Again, this full session today is really important. I don't think you could trade the DXY on Oanda. I don't think so at all that you could trade the DXY on Oanda. Maybe in European, I don't know, but I don't think you can. Neither do I trade the DXY. So I use the DXY as an indication of overall dollar strength and weakness. Now, it is heavily weighted, by the way, towards the Euro-US dollar, also then towards the Japanese yen, so on and so forth. We're looking here at Bitcoin. We see that a big move's coming. This is what sets it off, a break of this trend line over here, right? That's what sets off the move, and then it is a break of this outer trend line over here that confirms it. Because it's quite possible you come into it and get a rejection. It's a break over here that really affirms that move. It's coming. Could it be to the downside? Look, again, we all have understood. We all have a very clear indication of what happens over here as we come right now to this this peak of this consolidation over here. We're going to break either up or down. If we do break down, I think that we close the CME gap. We come into this trend line and then bounce. I think that there's probably a ton of, just go ahead and look at an order book, a ton of orders waiting right there. I don't need to look at the order book. I could look at the chart and see, and that's going to be wicked really quick. It is possible that we come down towards the 8,800. That's the downside. A breakout above, that's going to send this. That's going to send this. Once we break out above the yearly high over there, I'm not even placing a target on that. I'll wait until we break, and then I'll look at what I'm looking to target on the upside for the near-term move. Again, my view is at the end of December 2020, that's just a few months away, that we're looking at 18,000 on Bitcoin. I stand by that. No, you know what? We're going to talk about nickel miners right now. I'm not an expert on gold miners, right? If you call them even, are you a gold miner? Because you're mining multiple elements at once. I don't know. You know what? If you're in that space, you better know what you're doing. That's all I can say. There is, for resources, you could check out Eric Sprott's podcast. You could also check out some episodes on Real Vision. And you want to be definitely make sure you know exactly what's going on. What if December we're at 6K? That's not going to happen, Rod. I mean, or at least I'm betting against that. So what else? We want to take a look at, I want to recenter that. I want to take a look at over here, Kips. By the way, I don't know. I've never traded nickel. I never probably will trade nickel or invest in it. Do you follow over here the futures contract, or are you following over here this CFD? I'm not sure which one to follow. If anyone gives me any type of heads up, but there you go. That's the best comment of the day. 100% I will be doing that. 100% I will be doing that. And I won't be the only one, but that's not going to happen. That opportunity was there, right? That opportunity was there. And you know, either you bought more or you didn't. I know I was able to get some at 4,800 and at 52. The futures contract. Thank you, Kips. All right, before we get into the TA, let's look over here. I have an article right there, right? If anyone didn't see this, the U.S. is taking stake in battery metals. Kips over and over again has been talking about his interest in nickel because of the very fact that it's used in the batteries of all these electric vehicles. You can look at California, you know, by I forget the date. I don't know if it's 2030. They have a certain mandate about which cars have what percentage of cars need to be electric vehicles. That is something that will continue spreading. We'll look at Link for sure. Or ETFs. If you have one that you follow or look at, let me know. The one that we want to follow, just let me know. To counter Chinese control, right? You could see over here that they're looking 600 billion international development into nickel and cobalt miners in Brazil. That's a signal. That's not noise. That's big signal over there. LSE is lithium miner. I've been looking at nickel miners because of you. Thanks, Kips. Shout out to Kips for that. All right, I'll just start over here with the futures contract then. Right? So I'm going to go to the 3-day for us catching up on your comments over there. So look at that. What do you guys see when you first look at that? I'm trying to get a bigger perspective overview. So the first thing that my eyes are drawn to is down over here, right? And I see that right there, which is pretty clean. And then I'm going to go ahead. Whoop, let me fix that. Right there. Very clean, actually. I'm going to go ahead. That's what I'm going to call the prime trend line over here. I'm going to make that, well, I'll make that darker later. I'm going to clone that over there. I'm just checking right now. You could see over there the touch. That's a little bit noisy. I'm going to move this up over here, and I'm going to see what's going on the upside over there. And that's a really good place to put a touch. Again, touch. And then a touch over there. This channel offers a very, very nice guide for the, what's that alert business going on over there? Let me clean that up. All right. This channel right there offers a very good initial guide, right? That the fact that if you think that overall, you know, you're entering a period over here, talking about long-term investment over here, because we're talking about signal, right? And you're looking to go ahead and buy off support. One of the main supports you're looking at then is this trendline support of this channel. And any dips into it, by the way, which is when most people are feeling fearful, is an opportunity to lean in. Now, be aware, we've broken out of that trend line 1, 2, 3 times, and surely it could happen again. Nevertheless, that's why you're looking for the retest and then the resumption out of it. You could see some horizontal support over here as well. Let's go ahead and add that in right over there. Because why I'm adding that in is because you could see if we come in towards that confluence over here of horizontal and trend line, that's going to be a nice place to add. You could see right over here also another level that we're in right now. All right, let me go ahead and add that as in as well. Let's keep tidying up this chart and keep track of it. Now, what else are we looking at? Is this a place to lean in and buy? Right now, you saw a rejection of the channel resistance and now into support and coming off of it. Is that a place to take initial position, right? And by the way, let's talk about long-term investment here. Let's say that you had X amount of money that you wanted to invest of your portfolio into nickel. Let's just say that was $10,000, right? And let's say that you're looking at this chart right here, right now, and you don't have a position into it, right? You know that you would like to add off of any retest of this lower trend line. You also want to save some ammunition in case you trade below it, right? Now, this is kind of like, for example, long-term gold, long-term silver, long-term Bitcoin, However, with the caveat, Bitcoin's different because of that 4-year cycle. But right now, right, you would probably, or I would probably suggest saving a portion of your money, right? 1/3 of your capital in case you broke and pierced the lower trend line. Definitely coming into that trend line, you'd want to take a third. And probably the first third would be if you get a trigger over here, come down to the 8-hour over here. Would you trade the 8-hour if you're trading a position trade? No, I think the 3 days probably even more appropriate, right? You don't want to be watching, daily price fluctuations. And resuming off that, I would take the first third of the position. So that's a quick. I have no idea. I don't know about the seasonalities of nickel. I'm just talking about that, basing that off completely off price and off of this being a long-term investment because of when it comes down to this, right? The transition we're seeing to clean energy. If you want to call it clean energy, it's really not clean energy. Why do I say that? Like how much what's the emissions to create a battery for an electric vehicle itself? Right. So, but that's a topic for a different, that's a discussion for a different day. We don't need to even talk about that ever. So anyway, that's our first initial look. And oh, by the way, let me see that right there. Okay, perfect. Boom. Thank you, Roberto. Thanks for being here. Thanks for smashing that like button over here. I absolutely love our community. Someone wanted to check out Linked, so before we go any further, I do as well. Let's check out what's going on with Chainlink, right? Let me get back on the 8-hour over here. All right. So what am I looking at over here? Chainlink closed below this resistance yesterday. Bad news bears over there. I'm going to extend this trend line over here, right? We're following that trend line. Look, it's getting to a point here where, a break above this trend line, that's setting off a place if you are holding a Chainlink position and want to add to it, or if you're looking to get into a position. When you talk about seasonality, alt season's about to begin. My research that I did going back a couple of years ago has alt season beginning 6 months after the Bitcoin halving. That's upon us by the end of this month. A break of this trend line over here, I think that's a great place to either establish a position or add to a position on Chainlink. But so does that mean that you add to it right here, right now? Because when we break here, because we could still come back down. We could be trading down towards $7.80. And if we break that, we could be testing over here at $6.60. That's significantly lower. Always wait for that confirmation. Always wait. Let me go ahead and just clean that chart up. I don't like this line over here. Let me go ahead and just add in another support over there. All right. What else are we looking at this morning? Richard, what's going on? Is Nasdaq getting ready to break resistance? Right? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a volatile day, by the way. So just hang out. The only entry that I could have seen anyone taking this morning was over here on the S&P, right? Right over there. Everyone, let me clean this up. This was my football play of the day, right? Everyone should have been all over that entry if you were interested in taking an entry on the equities. That was the clean entry after getting stopped out at break even. But the Nasdaq, we spoke about it this morning, getting above this area, right? And then waiting for that pullback, that retest, and the resumption out, right? That's going to offer the clean area. There is some resistance right up into there, right? So watch out for that. Let's draw that in. Let me keep it in like this, actually. It's local resistance. I'm just going to change that color. And we'll keep aware of what's ahead of us. All right. Bitcoin. Right? So the question is, whether alts are you looking at other than Ethereum and Chainlink? I'm not. I will be dumping my Ethereum. I'll be dumping my Chainlink position very, very, very early on into alt season. I think that they both go a lot higher. I'm not worried about that. I think having a lightly leveraged Bitcoin position is a way stronger investment. So I'm not interested actually in any other altcoin whatsoever. I'm only interested in Bitcoin. A 3x position on Bitcoin, that's a really strong position on Bitcoin, right? What would, again, a 3x position on Bitcoin, watch your levels, know when you got to reduce that position, know when you have to reduce, and know when you have to add to it. But that's better than any altcoin, in my opinion, right? Unless you were, again, I've talked about it before, there's no question that the top 10, the top 20, top 30, top 70 altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. But again, that's why, but by a 4x, but by a factor of 4x. So if you're trading Bitcoin on a 3x position, that's a strong position. That's the only thing I'm interested in. When does early into alt season mean? So alt season should last as long as the Bitcoin bull market. In the previous cycle, the alt season lasted a couple of weeks longer than the top of Bitcoin. So when we talk about alt season beginning, right? Like again, from my research, it begins 6 months after the halving, puts us right about nowish, a month from now, and then it ends at the top of the Bitcoin bull market. That whole period is alt season. US dollar, Swiss franc, let's get into it right away for sure. Yeah, no, I'm not. So I think Ethereum is a strong, highly speculative investment. No question about it. I think Ethereum over, a period is for sure going to, Ethereum is way stronger on the year than Bitcoin is. And I do think that continues. But Ethereum is highly speculative technology, right? Like they don't even know how it's going to work. I think it's a good, highly speculative investment. But I think Bitcoin is a way stronger investment dealing with proven technology. This is my opinion. Yeah, that's awesome. Stay there. That's all you need to be, right? That's right. I think that's a strong one, right? 2x, by the way, give you a lot more room. If you can't handle the volatility, 3x is a highly leveraged position on Bitcoin. 3x is a highly leveraged position on Bitcoin. So if you need to lighten up on that, as XMR, I want to look at the US dollar, Swiss franc, right? So, by the way, I'm a big fan of Monero. It's got an awesome use case, right? Privacy. I'm a big fan of Monero. That's on this channel over here when we first started tracking her. Yeah, so it's looking great. It is looking great. Thanks for pointing that out. No, there's no 3x Bitcoin stock that I know of. Let's check out US dollar, Swiss franc. Oh no, I'm going that's not my target, 100K. And AJ again. So first of all, just really important, not for this, for anything. Like, look, I'm going over charts here. I'm trying to give everyone a firm grasp on the markets, right? I'm trying to give everyone some unbiased analysis showing important levels that you're either be able to look at it and be like, I see it, or actually that doesn't make any sense. I want to take the other side of that trade. That's entirely up to you, but you can't piggyback off of someone's investments. You have to understand it, right? So, and I think the Bitcoin playlist on this channel is an excellent place to begin your research. Watch those videos. It will absolutely increase your knowledge. I'm not targeting $100,000 on Bitcoin. I'm targeting higher, and I do think why my price target is 140,000. I set a target that I believe is and this is different. This is based on Bitcoin's 4-year cycle. I can't put a target on gold. I can't put a target on silver, right? But by the way, when you're talking about, possibly 5 years, right? 5 years before we see any type of recovery, which is possible. I said the earliest growth return would be 2 years. That's what I said since the beginning of the crisis. And therefore, I believe that we're looking at a bullish market here in the metals for at least 2 years. Now, could it be upwards of 5 years before growth returns? Yeah. That's why I feel so strong about the fundamentals of the Bitcoin and gold. Yeah. So, and do I think it's possible we overshoot that? Of course. These things, Bitcoin tends to overshoot on the upside as it does on the downside. Would I be surprised if we traded as high as 280,000? No, I wouldn't be surprised. Will I be selling at 140 if we hit it? No. Uh, Listen, you all be with me, and I'll let you know when I'm getting out and why. And I'm going to try to get out as close as I can to the top. And that doesn't mean that I won't be even 20% off the top, but that's fine, right? You know, I'm not trying to get the exact tick over here. So what else are we looking at over there? Careful with leverage positions. You got to know what you're doing. Physical gold is a good position. US dollar, Swiss franc. All right, let me zoom out over here. Someone in the training session last night, right, was looking at this. This is why the chart is tidied up, right? He drew in this resistance level right over here coming in at 0.918, right? He asked if it was a valid resistance level at that level. Why I was just looking at this area because of all the touches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now over here, support. Now resistance. I said that's a valid, that's absolutely valid resistance level. He was pointing out also that he was using this touch over there, which if you zoom out, you can see, right? You can see over here that last night we resumed off of it. This is a textbook conquering the markets trade entry right over there. Downtrend, right? Pull back into resistance, rejection of resistance, entry all day long. Let me go ahead and change that color over here. Get it back to my working color over there. So that's what's happening there on the US dollar Swiss franc. It just gave a sell signal over here, right? What are you targeting? Right? By the way, where's the first area of resistance? Because that's what you're targeting. First area of resistance, support, you're selling, is down over here, 0.9122, right? If you make it over there, come into that area and test it, what are you doing? Is it a little higher? Yeah, it's a little higher. I'd base it off of here, right? Let me draw in a support line. At this area, what you're looking to do is go ahead, take a little off the table, go ahead and move your stop loss to break even. You're looking to push the trade, right? You're looking for a break of this level. You don't make money taking profit too soon. You make money pushing trades. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? So that's amazing, Silver, right? Watch the channel for a week, and good for you for making that investment in yourself and in your time. And then, things are making a lot more sense. And that's and it continues. Every day, every session, I continue my education. I continue learning. I am a student of the markets. And that means that my posture is open for whatever the market is showing me and for what I need to be working on at that particular time. It's not like I decide okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. And then I want the market to bend to my will. It depends what's happening right now. And right now for me, we're looking at a lot of neutral positions, right? Whether we're talking about the dollar, neutral, right? Whether we're talking about gold, neutral, right? We're waiting for the market to show us the way. Not the same on the equity markets. Clarity, big clarity, right? And that clarity started on the breakout of that wedge because this was all tough, right? On the Nasdaq over here, right? I tried attacking to the downside over here, rightfully so, right? Stopped out really quick, right? Then what happened, right? I forgot where we went long on the S&P, not on the Nasdaq, right? Over here, the Nasdaq first entry was down over there. Is patience psychology? Yeah. Mindset. I think it's more mindset though. Euro. So, by the way, before we look at the British pound and the euro, because we're going to look at both of those right now, I am in the camp that I think it's a better move to stay away from the British pound because of this high, huge asymmetric event going on right now, right? We don't know what's going to happen. They have UK set a deadline for October 15th that they either have a deal or not. That's a week away, right? right now taking a position on the pound is just, I'd rather wait for some type of resolution and then start looking to trade wherever, if we think that pound, if they have a hard break exit, is it possible that the pound sells off initially first? I think that will be probably the best buying opportunity going into 2022 if that were to occur. So being on the sidelines waiting to see what happens is a lot stronger position, because once it becomes clear, we like clarity, and then you getting yourself into a position trade might be the way to go. If you get caught up into a trade now, it's just there's too many moving pieces. There's too many moving pieces, especially when you're dealing with EU politics. But let's take a look at the chart over here on the Euro British pound. You're looking if that's a bull flag. That looks like a nice bull flag to me. You can see that's the trend line of the upper one. Here you go. You could see that looks like a nice bull flag for sure. Therefore, by the way, if you get any further tests of the downside towards the support over here, the trend line support, right? And especially if you get to couple that with horizontal support at the time, that could be a place to lean in. What about if you do get a breakout to the upside? I mean, I don't know. Not for me, but I'm not saying no. That could send us possibly. I don't know. I simply do not know. And that's a strong position, or a strong, to be able to say, I don't know, you got to be able to do that as a trader. All right? You got to be able to do that as a trader. Kips, thanks for the shout out. Appreciate that. No, I don't know about, listen. So by the way, let me share that link with you. This morning, I was looking at Marty Bent's newsletter. And the reason, so listen, let me go ahead and share that over there if you're interested. I was actually thinking of subscribing this morning. I didn't get a chance to yet. So reason being is Marty's really, Marty's your guy. Marty's your man if you're interested to know about what's going on. He gets very technical, right? Very technical. These guys are playing out the game theory there. They're expecting or looking for definitely some type of state attacks on Bitcoin in the near future. What near future means, no one knows, right? No one knows if that is, once, Bitcoin becomes $1 trillion asset or no one knows. But if you're interested in that, that's what you're looking for. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that very much. Right, there you go. Right. Oh, so Kips, I was thinking that last night. Right. Let me go ahead and look at that. I was thinking that we saw ugliness. What's going on over here? I'm gonna clean this up really quick. Right. When we came back down into this, because that huge hurricane was coming into the Gulf. Right. Everyone this is going to be brief. This is not too important. Everyone who was following, for the last couple of weeks, knew that when we came into the support, it was like, I'm going to lean in. That's a place to lean in by. I didn't take the trade. I'm staying aside on oil. I'm not interested in oil. Now, then the storm came right here that shot oil up into the resistance. Like, all right, that's probably a good place to sell. Into the support again, we were like, all right, well, listen, if it zooms off, that's a good place to buy. But a storm came. In both these cases, a storm shot the price of oil up. Is that luck? Yeah. I mean, that's just really convenient timing, right? So is this a place getting ready to resume a short in oil? I don't know. Again, I'm not trading oil. It's really just sideways. So I don't know. It could be. You could see we're getting those higher lows over there. So, I'm leaning. So I'm going to always say I was undecided over here. I was undecided over there. Yeah, I think so. That's, I would have to definitely support that. Josh, get neutral. Wait for it's clear. When it's clear, you just got to be able to take advantage of when it's clear. If you get yourself into a trade you don't belong in, you don't have the opportunity to pounce when it's time to pounce. All right. So instead of taking just trades to trade, instead of just trading to trade, go ahead. So that states will attack Bitcoin. Well, yeah, 1 second. Eugene, 1 second. If you get yourself into a position you don't belong in, you're stuck in that position, you're stuck watching that position, and you're probably taking a loss on that position. It's much better off following the market intensely, doing your analysis, and then attacking when it's time to attack. All right? So, Eugene, what do I mean by states will attack Bitcoin? For example, in the US, they could do a couple of different things. Now, they could, not just the US, I'm just using the US as an example. They could simply make ownership of Bitcoin and or cryptocurrency illegal. Now, look at, do I think that's going to happen? I don't think that's going to happen, right? First of all, it's a tiny, tiny market, $200 billion Bitcoin, right? Do you think that the U.S. government is worried about it being as a competitor to the dollar? I don't think so. I don't think it is, right? Do I think that Bitcoin has a chance over the next, call it 5 years, 6 years, to possibly challenge the market cap of gold? Yes, that I believe is possible, right? Now, what else is going on? Is it possible that the U.S. government makes, on-ramps and off-ramps, Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, BlockFi illegal? Yeah, that would be their only really attack vector. That would be, at this point, the only place that they could attack to try to, but do I think they're going to do that? Listen, I don't think so. Today you have senators and congressmen who hold and believe in Bitcoin. They also understand it very well, right? And the more of these people that start, taking positions in Bitcoin, the less and less likely they'll be able to come against it. Now, have there been any other type of statewide sneak attacks on Bitcoin, right? Remember the forks? Remember, Bitcoin Cash, right? And then the other fork, right? Original Vision. I don't even want to say the name. It doesn't deserve to be said. So those were attacks on Bitcoin. I think those were state-sponsored attacks on Bitcoin. They were trying to get the larger block sizes, right? That was an attack on Bitcoin. Community fought it off. Here we are. Look, it's a possibility. If you really want to get into it, start following the guys over the link I just showed you, Marty Bent and Tales from the Crypt. Their Friday sessions, their Friday podcasts, it's like two guys hanging out with some whiskey talking about Bitcoin. You learn a lot. But it's not about price as it is as much as, let's call it, just technicalities over there. Yeah, I mean, that's right. That's right. All right, where else are we at over today? Where else are we at today? Let's take a look. Let's take a quick review of the markets over here. By the way, I love the session over there. If you're enjoying, if you learned something new, if you're happy to be here, please go ahead. Thank you, Sprout, and smash that like button, right? Come on. What else have we got over here? We got S&P towards the highs of the day. Watch what's going on over there. Again, just be aware we have the Fed meeting minutes later today. We have a massive amount of Fed speakers today. I don't think that's going to do anything except, beg for more stimulus. We have, it's now 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. At 11 o'clock, there is a press conference. That could be a black swan event. Just be aware of it. Hopefully it's nothing, but we don't know what it's going to be. So just watch out for what happens over there. Thank you for that as well. If you're new here, please subscribe. Glad to have you with us. Have been watching for some weeks. How do you teach how to draw support resistance lines in your course? Well, there's three different, in that module, there's 3 different videos showing how to draw support and resistance in that course module. So what else are we looking at over there? We're looking at the Nasdaq over here, breaking above that resistance over there. Again, good, strong, everything's looking healthy. That yesterday's afternoon update video was super important there, I think, for just giving everyone that walk back that FOMO. FOMO works on both sides, right? Those bears were loud yesterday. Listen, they'll have their day. And when they have their day, we're going to be there attacking on the same side as them, right? What's going on? No man's land. Let me remove all this business, by the way, but the DXY, why it's in that range, is in no man's land. That looks a little cleaner. I could at least see what's happening with price. Let me even make that a little bit lower. That's just a reminder to us. That's a little light. That we're in no man's land. So I'm not really, by the way, if you notice what I'm doing, I'm not really going through FX right now. And I'm going to right now really quick blow through it quickly. And that's because I don't think there's any opportunity. The markets right now are kind of in no man's land. All right. Yep. That could be a possible black swan event. We don't know. Ken, thank you. So is anyone hard selling gold right now? Man, we don't take counter trend trades here. We do not take counter trend trades here. There's no one here hard selling gold right now. That's for sure. Yes, Giles, let's do that right now. Let's look at the Euro Japanese yen. All right. So a couple of things I see. So the first thing my eyes were attracted to, right? I see, hold on. Let me get it right. The first thing my eyes were attracted to is this. This is a possible rising wedge over here. Now, is it a rising wedge? I don't know. Let me check it out right now. Possible, I'm saying. So, yeah, is that a possible rising? I think so. That looks pretty strong to me. That's a possible rising wedge. That's a possible bearish pattern. Watch over here. I'm going to move this resistance down over here, right? I'm going to move it right down over to there. We'll watch if we come into that resistance. That could be a good place with all that supply to sell on a breakdown of that wedge. Now, that's one thing. That was the first thing my eyes were attracted to. I always, if you hear me say, the first thing my eyes were attracted to. So when you look at a chart, see what you're attracted to, right? Now, what's next? So what's next over there? I was just reading the comments. Shane had a big comment over there. So you could see that we're above this area of support. We closed below it. Now we're back above it. Is that a good area? Let me just tighten up that line a little bit, right? I think so. I mean, my eyes are hold on. I want to go to the daily time frame. I want to see what else is going on over here. Yeah, I mean, it's in that area, right? You could see this is all support over here. You could see over here, then it was resistance, another touch of resistance. I have to say it's more like this, though. How do I get to a box, a rectangle? I guess what I'm seeing is like this, right? So anyway, we're above all that anyway. So now, like, this is offering an opportunity over here to go long, though, for sure. You all know I'm watching what happens on that resistance. If we're rejected there and break out of this and it continues to be a rising wedge pattern, that is offering up possibly later on, a week from now, maybe a short trade. But right now, this is bullish. And right now, this is offering, this would go on the watch list. I'm not interested in it. I'm not putting it on my watch list. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't. But now, if you get, conquering the market opportunity here, that's something to watch out for along right now. But I'm going to be patient here and play that one out. On the Euro US dollar, let's check it out over here. Is the same pattern developing on the Euro US dollar? Let me come back and look at the Euro US dollar. And so this looks, I don't know. Let's check it out. All right. I mean, is this one more of a channel than a wedge? I mean, that doesn't look right. So is it this happening? I don't know. It's not as clear to me on the Euro Japanese yen. It's a very clear wedge. Is this one possible? Maybe. It appears to me more like a possible channel than a wedge, but I see more of a wedge. But there's symmetry between the two of them. There's symmetry between the two of them. It's just what I see. So again, I'm offering a good look here at the chart, I feel like I got a little bit of a grasp on TA, but if it offers you some type of clarity, that's what this is here for. For me, I can't tell, right? I mean, that looks like I'm definitely getting a wedge pattern over there. Is it possible that is more of a channel? Let me try to clean that up. I don't know. I don't know. And if you notice, by the way, and often, I don't use exact lines. Like I have this, I like how my trend line is right here, right? A lot of people use like, and TA is an art. It's not a science. A lot of people like connect points like this, right? A lot of people connect points like that. That's not how I do it at all. I'm seeing that, and that to me looks like right over there, an ascending wedge possibly developing on the Euro US dollar. That looks like a clean channel to me. That's what I see. Model 3 Life following where he belongs, right? That was the trade, especially the S&P 500, right? Nasdaq then following suit. I didn't see the entry. I'm glad you got it. I didn't see it at all. By the way, let's take a quick look at the Dow, right? That's a channel to me, right? What about the Russell? Let's just check in over here. Russell now challenging that resistance again over there. All right. I just have to give myself a big thumbs up for yesterday's afternoon video and keeping everyone on that right side. Yeah. That's another thing, by the way. It's when equities, they talk about it, it's the staircase up. Equities climb up, and it's that elevator down. Unless you see the market selling off and crashing, there's no reason being short equity markets. I know so many people that have lost so much money over the last 12 years constantly, trying to sell the equity markets. This was when the equities were crashing. It was like free money. It was easy and it was clear. You could also go back to when, December of 2018, this was very clear. However, this was, a buying opportunity. I remember being with my father-in-law during Christmas vacation, having a talk with him over by the bar and being like, now's the time to buy Apple. Yeah, you go. Only, buy off support and uptrends, sell off resistance and downtrends. All right. We'll take a look at copper for sure, man. For sure. Let's take a look over there. All right. So copper is taking out the resistance over here and strongly with authority, right? By the way, let's just look at what we see. You see that let me make that a little bit darker. By the way, thanks for being here. I appreciate, spending the time together. I thoroughly enjoy it. You can see over here, you have this channel over here. We broke out of it, right? Now, I don't take the breakout. Nevertheless, that's bullish, right? That's an uptrend. Consolidation patterns. Oh, this is a great example for us. Let me show this right now because this is, all right, follow my broken train of thought there, right? When you get a breakout, like this is happening right now, it's a breakout of the channel right here. When you get a breakout, you don't have to come back in and retest perfectly the broken resistance as support. You've heard me say it many times. Sometimes you'll get a consolidation and the breakout off of there is what you want to attack on. So you could get one of two things right now. We could get one of three things. Let me clean it up a little and show you. Right now, what we're looking for, or what you're looking for, because now copper is becoming clear, right? So why is it clear? Remember, I kept saying it's unclear. Finally was able to draw the channel. And then finally now a breakout of the channel. Now it's clear. Now you're looking to see if you can get a trade entry on copper if you're interested on the long side. So what are you looking for? First of all, it's possible to get a test of this level right over here, this broken resistance. If we get a test of that and that holds as support, a resumption off that, that's an entry. It's possible we go lower. It's possible we go down to this support down over here, which also is that broken resistance, right? Right over there. So that also would be a nice buy entry now and a bullish entry. Or we could get something that looks more like this, where we get a little bit of consolidation and then a breakout above. All three of those offer a beautiful entry right now on copper. Thanks for bringing that up, Will. Definitely definitely good look over there. Let me clean this noise up a little bit because that's all noise right now for us. Let me catch up on a couple of comments over here. What are your thoughts on multi-level marketing? I don't have any thoughts on that. So I do have a couple of thoughts. I don't know anything about multi-level marketing or iMarkets Live teaching Forex. But what I do know is that there are many courses that cost thousands of dollars. They don't even offer a working plan or strategy. I do know that you cannot put a price on the value of the education and the material that I provide and in my course. And I do know that it costs next to nothing. The investment that one is making to work with me, the community, and to have a working strategy that is, first of all, the markets are incredibly difficult. If you could take anyone, right? If you could take 10 traders and are able within 3 to 5 weeks to just provide them, a set of instructions where you could get 4 of those traders, on their way to break even or better and towards consistently profitable. Come on, man. It's insanity. It's insanity. That's what I believe. I don't believe it actually. I don't know of or I don't. That's my only thoughts. That's like probably the biggest no-brainer there is. Does it look like the Nasdaq found support? Let's take a look at that. And same the value, you cannot put a price on the value. That's for sure. Thank you for that though. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I mean, for real. So listen, there's a bunch of people. So there's a bunch of people, right, who just listening to the YouTube videos since the crisis went on to, turn around their investments. A lot of them signed up the course just to say thank you, and then they learned something in the process. But the course itself, right? The YouTube values themselves, right? They provide the knowledge for sure. The course gives you that super jump start, head start, with a lot more clarity. But you don't need that. Anyone who's here right now, man, obviously you're here for one thing because it benefits you, it benefits your overall knowledge, and it benefits your trading. And I'm grateful that you're here. That's all. So there was something else that I wanted to talk about over there. Oh, someone was wondering if we're seeing any type of support now on the Nasdaq. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at it. We'll take a look at gold right after as well. But gold in no man's land. Right here, what do I see is happening on the Nasdaq? Nothing, right? So we're waiting. We're waiting. We were looking this morning to break above here, right? And be above these two trend lines. It's definitely bullish, but we still got some work to do over here. What we're waiting to happen on the Nasdaq is for this area to hold. Right? Price holding above there, pulling back into it and retesting it and resumption is the first entry that I see on the Nasdaq. All right? Now, people should still be long from right over there because we never moved the stop loss to break even. The stop was never touched. So people should already be long, but there's no new entry. The S&P was completely different. S&P, everyone from this entry should have been stopped out at break even and then reestablished the long right over there. You could see that you're coming into that resistance already right now on the S&P. And right now, that entry from this morning, I said you have to be very conservative with it. You should be locking up your stop to break even right now, right? Because you have to be very conservative in this situation. Listen, Kips has been adding a lot of insight into that trade over there in nickel. We looked at it with for the first time on this channel this morning, and we gave a bit of a background on why, starting with over here. It's all about, right? Well, it's largely about and Kips is saying before the US took a stake in metal miners, Kips was talking about the very reason. There's only on the one resource that I recommend. I don't have the link to it. It's about 2 years ago. on ARK Investments, a podcast. I think it's the one where they spoke with Elon Musk, so it's easy to find, or the very episode before that, and they talk about exactly this, the investment in nickel, and because of the electronic vehicles batteries. So if you want to see Brown, you have to go back and find it in the live stream. Just go back into where you see in the center of your chart, right, until you see nickel, and then follow over there. Guys, we got someone spamming for your attention over there, right? Could you become successful in 10 seconds trading based on Ikimu clouds? Sounds like an infomercial. Gold, let's check it out, all right? Before we check out the gold, let's check out what's going on the DXY, which is nothing in no man's land. Now let's check out our gold over here, also in no man's land. Now the question on my mind, and I don't have the answer for that. The question on my mind, whether or not this needs to be moved down to over here, right? If we're now looking at where this low was going back about 2 weeks ago, whether or not 1850 is the new support, I'm keeping it over here as a tight because it doesn't even matter. And why it doesn't matter? I do not think that anyone should sell gold. I do not think that anyone should sell gold. I do not think that anyone should sell gold. Gold's in a bull market. However, at this point, after me taking the aggressive entry last week on gold, I'm now waiting for gold to break out to the bullet. A break of this trend line sets off gold on a technical bullish break. I will not take it before that. And as long as we're below that, I'm simply neutral. No, I do not. I do not. Liz, I don't know. They were talking about there are plenty of ETFs that you could look into. That's probably for most U.S. investors where they would be looking to trade it. What else are we looking at today? So, by the way, so let's just play that out really quick. A couple of things could happen on the election night, right? There could be a clear landslide winner. I lean towards that direction, right? But then after that, right, you could see some organized chaos against that. And then you would see gold probably hugely bid. Gold is definitely a safe haven asset, especially when there's any type of geopolitical risk. If there was no clear winner of the US election, right, that would be gold bid for sure. But it doesn't matter. All you need to what matters is what happens on the charts, right? What matters is what happens on the charts. You don't take something hoping that an event will occur in advance. You wait for that event to be unfolding. You wait for the price to confirm it. When you line up the technicals, that's when the magic happens. Boring day. I find it, this is, well, I don't know. I don't consider it boring. Jay, the new entry on gold is only now for me, for myself, going to be either a break of this trend line setting off the bull move, or if we break down further and hold an important support, for example, down here at 1800 or even lower. I'll make this, brighter if we come down to it, but it's towards 1750. So I'm either looking, we're in an uptrend. I'm looking to buy off support down over here at 1800, support 1750. If they hold and resume off, that's an opportunity to take an entry. It doesn't mean it will be the right entry. It's a high probability entry though. Or this one, a break of this trend line, that sets off to me the safe entry on gold. Boom, 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 boom. S&P overhead resist. Yeah, this is what into that resistance here right now is a good time to go ahead and move your stop loss now to break even. You have to be a little bit cautious today. All right, everyone. Great session. I don't find this boring at all. I find this absolutely fascinating. The last 24 hours have been absolutely, how do you say, engaging in my view. And by the way, having the clarity or insight to know when to stand aside, that right there, my friend, pays dividends. Patience is one of your greatest edges. It was a good session. I enjoyed it as well. Thank you, Shane. I definitely appreciate that. Jordan, advice on Robinhood, not for the green. Sometimes I'm not. You got it. Forex is light today, guys. I'm backed off completely right now myself. Apple. So instead of looking at individual stocks, you can follow the flow that we're looking at on the market. You can see over here, Apple is putting in a mild flag pattern over here, right? A bull flag, I would call that. And it's just simple. Wait for the trigger. Wait for the trigger. That's the trigger. Wait for the trigger, or a pullback into support, a resumption off of that. It's all about patience. It's all about knowing when to attack. Thank you, C. Brown. Thank you, everybody. Bitcoin we looked at earlier in the session. You could pull back to the beginning of the live stream and get an excellent look at Bitcoin. That's what I'm waiting for there with you, brother. It could be a non-event, or it could be October surprise. It could be a black swan over here in the markets. That's why I'm saying, by the way, after yesterday's price action as well, right now on the S&P, even though it's a beautiful entry, it's time to be protective of that as you come into the resistance. And make no mistake about it, we're coming into resistance right now. Maybe tomorrow we'll look at Tesla, but nothing right now. Thanks, Gemma. That's what I'm at. I'm with you, Jeffrey, on that. Thank you, Shane. You too. Will, thanks for the look on copper today. Definitely appreciated that direction. Thank you for that. You too. Have a beautiful day. Beautiful day, everyone. It's all good, Sprout. It's all good in the hood. Either you get it or you don't. Listen, there's a lot of people struggling, and there's some tainted people out there. All you need to do is sit back, watch for a week or two, and I think that struggle will go away and be replaced with a lot of clarity. That's right, Giles. I'm with you 100% on that, and that's where we're at right now. And that could be. We don't know when that's going to end, but we are going to go into an expansion phase next. There's no question about it. The only thing that has become clear has been the equity markets. Not easy, but clear. Absolutely. Have a beautiful day, Wes. Oh, I love the music. Love the music. Yeah, I know. That's great insight, though, Manuel. The fact that you know. That's great insight, Manuel. The fact that you know, that there's nothing boring about knowing when to be on the sidelines. There should be like a rush in that. Having the clarity to see that the market is consolidating, not offering an edge. That's an advantage. That's an insight. That's an edge. And, listen, there are days when there's no clarity, when it's confusing. We've worked through a few of those back over here, right? In this whole area for us, we've worked through all of that. So when things are clear, man. Yeah. Absolutely, my friend. Thank you. Jay, man, I loved the session. I loved yesterday's session. I loved yesterday's afternoon update. So I give it a like. Thanks, Ollie. Thank you. Again, it's more important to me though to make a difference. So those that are here, those that see it, those that get it, that's what's important to me, right? It's about quality. You got it. Thank you, brother. I'm glad you see that. There you go, Bees. Thank you. Yeah, if the markets break down, Russell, I guarantee you we will be there. As we were late February, all through March. I guarantee we will be there having fun. Thank you. Tom, thank you. Thank you, everybody. You too. Absolutely, everyone. Stay safe. Keep up that immune system. Make sure you get plenty of sleep, vitamin D, vitamin C, exercise, sunshine. Everyone stay healthy. Jane, see you later. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. Plantar, I don't support evil. Put it that way. I just don't support evil. So, you know. Brad, thanks for everything. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yassine. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Have a beautiful day, really. Enjoy that day, you know. Bring some happiness to those around you. A little smile could change someone's day. We got to make, in this world where we're bombarded with fear and negativity, we got to be the light. We got to be that positivity. We'll look at it tomorrow, Oscar. We're going to call it a day. Evidence that Sessions purposely, we're going to get into the headlines and articles in a little bit, see what's going on over there today. That's going to be a big deal, perhaps. Everybody, I look forward to seeing you all this afternoon. Well, when I say seeing you, I mean to afternoon's update, and I'll see you all tomorrow. That's awesome, Eric. I like to hear that. Thank everyone. Right, so let's see. The solar sector is on fire going into this election. Bio will provide massive subset. So, I mean, that could be, but listen, politics aside, I think it's a landslide, and I don't think it goes in Biden's direction. Trade accordingly, right? I did call the 2016 election. Not that that means that I'm going to get this one right. There you go. Everyone, you know what? If you took the time to comment, I want to read what you said. So that's why I'm taking an extra second over here just to make sure, you know, that I do. So thank you for sharing. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. All right, if I didn't have, you know, 5 kids and a wife, I would be doing that as well. But I also did get into trading when I set out, you know, as a young guy. One of the reasons that attracted me to trading was not only financial freedom, but freedom of lifestyle. And that's why I ended up on the best time frame to trade, the 8-hour, which no matter what you got going on in life, affords for you to have a fantastic lifestyle. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. There you go. But you're learning. That's a great comment right here. This is a great comment. And by the way, clarity, self-perspective, self-knowledge is one of the greatest gifts. So this is a great comment over here because you're saying that it's not easy to be patient. That's amazing self-knowledge. That right there is the first step on the way towards getting it. That's awesome. Fix the music. It's too loud. I mean, listen, you can't please everyone, but you turn down your volume, right? But I'm glad you're here with us. That's right. That's what we're looking for, that generational wealth. That's right. That's a good comment right there. God bless you too, my brother. Thank you for that. Thank you for prayers always. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Now we got one boy, John. The youngest is a boy. The youngest are twins, but we got a boy in there. Roberto, thank you so much. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon.